Hey guys, this is a extremely important video, so watch it to the end. People are scared, okay, like because of COVID-19, Trump is talking about this having effects into the summer. A lot of us are essentially grieving the lives that we don't know if we've really lost our sense of freedom for the next foreseeable future, and things are different. And it's first want to acknowledge that things are scary right now. You may be scared, but it's also important to acknowledge that we are in uncharted water and really an unprecedented time. But there is some good. So the purpose of this video is I want to shift your focus to what you need to be doing to actually taking control of your situation today. The most important thing that you need to focus on today in business and in your life. So think bigger than your product right now, okay? The most important thing you need to be focused on is how to make money today, how to make money this week, and how really we're gonna be helping you make sure that you aren't sitting around waiting for things to go back to normal, because the reality is we don't know what that's gonna happen. So if you're thinking that you're just gonna wait this out for the next month or 2 months and just do what you're doing now, you have another thing coming. This Darwinism is about evolving, and only the strongest survive. So you have to understand that what's happening today is that consumers and the psychology around buying, people are buying out of necessity and survival today, not out of a nice to have, okay? So where that may sound uncomfortable to you, it's actually a really cool opportunity and point of this video and things that we're focusing on in the group together for the next couple of weeks, okay? You have to change your messaging and even consider changing the strategy of what you're doing to make money right now, of how your product, or even if you have an offline business, like changing your focus, changing your messaging to make it relevant for consumers and fit buyer psychology today, okay? I am going to, later in this video, cover a few examples of members of what you guys can actually do with your current products to shift the messaging on your product to make it relevant for what is happening today, okay? So is it smart over the next 20 years to really, is pivoting your business for the coronavirus today and for the next 20 years a best long-term strategy for growth? Probably not, but that's not the focus for today. The focus for today is how can you innovate your product, or even how you make money offline in life. How can you innovate that and change it for today, okay? Or this week, or this next month, okay? You cannot stop what you're doing for the next 5 months. So if you aren't sure how you are getting through the next 6 months of your situation, and everyone's in a different situation, okay? I've talked to members who have a offline business that is drastically affected because of in-person commerce has ceased. I've seen people who have had jobs cut or hours cut because the industry is in one of the most affected, okay? We are living in unprecedented times that require you to do things differently, not only to survive as number one, but number two, you have to focus on how you can pivot your product, or even what you're doing outside of your product, to help those people that are affected by this current situation, okay? So if you aren't sure how you're getting over how you're really going to survive the next 6 months, you have to focus on restructuring your brain and how you're perceiving this situation, okay? So you have two choices. The first choice is that you can stay as a panicked consumer, sitting there waiting for this to blow over, okay? You can wait it out, you could do nothing and just hope for the best. The second thing you could do is become a strategic innovator, all right? A strategic innovator, and changing your thought process from being someone who is a panicked consumer to being someone who is a producer, okay? If you're a producer, you're agile, And you're gonna find new creative ways to make your product not only more impactful today for those that are helping you or those that are affected by COVID-19, but also you're gonna make your product more impactful, okay? When you become a strategic innovator and become a producer, one thing you have to know is that this is potentially a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity where we are seeing the biggest transfer of wealth that you may see in your lifetime. And the way to ride the wave to make this world a better place and to be able to help other people and get yourself through the situation is to think differently about how you show up in the world. So you have a choice. You have a choice to be a panicked consumer and do nothing, or to take control of your situation by starting to see yourself as a producer and seeing how you can change your message, your product, or what you are doing offline to be better for humanity, okay? When you can serve a need today, that is where consumers are spending their money. So what do I mean by all this? How does this apply? Well, not how does this apply to your situation, but I want to end off this video with two things. The first one, I'm going to go through a couple of examples of current products and people in this group that I see an opportunity for you to really shift your focus and your messaging and what that looks like. And secondly, I am offering anyone in this group reach out to me or tag me below. I will get on a phone call with you this week to help you plan how you are going to get through the next 6 months. Okay, so I'm not charging you guys for this. We have an opportunity here, and after watching this video, it may become crystal clear to you of what exactly that looks like for your situation. Others, you may want some actual coaching and brainstorming session around that. So if that is you, opening my schedule up to you guys this week to have those kind of phone calls to help you strategically pivot for the situation. Okay, so let's actually go to examples. The Monk Manual, okay? One of our best products and early product that launched out of the group. They usually serve entrepreneurs and parents with busy lives. Well, now that we're all quarantining, that's not necessarily happening right now. So what Steven has done is he has pivoted his message and who he serves. He's changed his message to serve students, okay? Serve students with lesson plans, because that is a direct need required today through parents, okay? So there's one. We have the screen face mask with Deirdre, okay? You have a face mask for skiers and outdoor enthusiasts. Being a triathlete myself, I can't help but notice all of the cyclists and runners that are now wearing masks, not because it's cold out, because they don't want to inhale air and be a victim of COVID-19, okay? So even though they're not technically N95 masks, it helps reduce the transfer of air and the virus, okay? So for you, your opportunity is to switch the message off skiing, because no one is skiing right now, but what are they doing? What are they using? What could they potentially use your mask for? They can use your mask for protection while still being outdoors, okay? People are still walking their dogs. People are going out for runs. People are going out cycling, because frankly, that's the only thing that we can do to leave the house. So you really got to focus on that. We have Ian, your product, Zebo. Okay, Zebo is a outdoor gazebo that you use on the beach, or you can use it for camping, or you can use it for RV adventures, okay? Right now, no one is using it to go outside with friends. What can you pivot your messaging for? Pivot your messaging to be a tent that you can buy and use in your backyard for kids when you want to have Jimmy Fallon just bought a tent for his 2 young girls because he heard that was a really fun thing to do. So you can have outdoor camping excursions with your kids in your backyard, okay? That's another way to repurpose your product. And last but not least, there's another member in the group, David. You mentioned that your promotional company on the side, printing is such a traditional industry, but that's also something that right now no one is printing for events because of the nature of things. So think, how can you actually use the resources and the talent you have on your team to pivot who you serve, okay? Who you serve. Maybe you can go, instead of doing traditional print, go pivot things to online, digital, and peak your offer to businesses that are well-funded and are using this time to really buckle down on processes and invest in certain things so that they're ready for a big marketing push in a few months when this happens, okay? See and think outside the box for how you traditionally do things, and how can you serve the need today? How can you innovate your product today to make it relevant for people, and so that it not only helps them, but it makes you stay in business, okay? So again, this is not necessarily a long-term strategy, but you cannot wait around for things to get better. You've got to take the bull by the horns, and in the process, you can help a lot of people that are affected by this. So in wrapping this up, the last thing I'm going to say is please do reach out to me if you are struggling to figure out how you're going to make it through it the next 6 months, okay? I want to help. So take care. Thanks for watching the video.